The voice of Husker Nation is on the air. This is Hail Varsity Radio. Insight, opinion, expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join in with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel.
Welcome to it. It is a Road Show Friday here with Hail Varsity Radio, powered by Cornhead Lager. We are here at Addy's. Addy's, where you come say hi. Addy's, where you drink a cold beer. Addy's, where you congregate before, during, and after the College World Series 2024. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Husker Hall of Famer, and two-time World Series champ Joba Chamberlain, Will Wilson, back in studio. We were going to bring Will. Actually, Will tried to escape the studio. Elijah and I both darted him. He woke up. God bless Will Wilson for being back at the studio. Joba show, folks, in the stream. Hail Varsity YouTube channel, The Bling. It's just tradition. The Bling. There it is. World Series. That is ongoing as it's Carolina, Virginia. We've had police escorts. We have Rocky Top fans. We have NC State fans and all sorts of madness here in Omaha. You can join the show today on Hail Varsity Radio, 489-1240, 489-1240. You can email Chris at hailvarsity.com. Always find the show on the stream. Hail Varsity YouTube can follow on Twitter at HVarsity Radio. And as always, listen across the Hail Varsity Radio Network, AM 590, Omaha's ESPN, KFOR, Lincoln, the Superstation in central Nebraska, Kearney, Hastings, Grand Island, Tri-City, ESPN, and our friends in Columbus, News Talk 900. We'll get our starting five shout-outs, some Husker football topics to tackle as we are in the throes of June and counting down 78 days till kickoff. And, yes, baseball center stage today. Bill Dolman with us in hour two. Pride of Fairbury, NBC Sports. He is down in SEC country still. He's imaginary. He wears red. Clausborne coming up at 5:40 with the Friday forecast. Fellas, how we doing? Happy College World Series day one. And, man, it's great to be out here in downtown Omaha, right around the ballpark.
Yeah, just seeing the atmosphere and seeing everybody, it's fantastic, and the energy, and when you see a fan coming with a shirt and you say their name, it's fantastic to see people, just embracing what this environment is, and just seeing how much fun people are having, and what this creates for Omaha and everybody around. I think it's fantastic.
And if you have any doubts, as we're here today at Addy, as you say, about the professionalism of Hail Varsity Radio, let it be known, Schmitty is doing this show. He's lost half his notes. We had a drink spilled right before the show. Schmitty is rolling through half unprepared, and we're still going to make it through. It's beautiful.
I don't have much, but I got a little bit of room between the ears. We're good. We're going to tackle some college football topics.
Oh, and did Carolina just walk it off? I think they did.
I'm wearing my Carolina blue in honor of one Bill Hooks.
Oh, Hooksy.
Today. So maybe I'm the good luck charm. But recruiting is vital. That is center stage for Nebraska and Friday Night Lights. So many talented kids going to be on hand for Nebraska. It's the Christian Jones race for Nebraska between Auburn, Oklahoma, and the Big Red, the talented linebacker from West Side. How will his weekend go? Another from Bishop Gorman, Ala Fatuli. Nice. The four-star offensive lineman from Bishop Gorman is checking things out as well. So we'll talk a little recruiting. We'll dive into just who has more at stake, right? The most to lose when it comes to the Big Ten this season. Some programs, where's Nebraska in that conversation? And from a projection standpoint, our dear friend Phil Steele's magazine is out. Nebraska has the number 5 defensive line in the country per Phil Steele. I want to go defense overall. Where and how many double-digit sack guys does Nebraska have this season. Interested to get your guys' thoughts, but Joba, will start with some college baseball. I know we touched on it. We had the lead off with the Triple Play podcast. If you didn't watch that live, check the replay on the Triple Play pod. Follow that on Twitter. But just this moment, this environment, this energy, I'm going to reset and repeat for some listeners. I'm going to present it new from your point of view, getting a win back at 05 here in downtown Omaha for Nebraska baseball. Yes, it's a memory. Yes, it's a highlight, but it's also a piece of history. And that's what everybody that's here in Omaha is trying to make with a championship drive and finish to dogpile in downtown Omaha.
Yeah, just that feeling of just being here. And, we fell a little short at that 05 year, but, the accumulation of everything. And I think, as we relate this to Husker football, we know what Husker football is and what it stands for. And I think for everything, when it comes to it, you want to be the last one standing. And it doesn't matter in what sport. And I think with what we have going, we're close. We're close. And, I'm excited about the prospects. I'm excited about what the team has done and the position that we've put them in. And obviously, in being down here at the College World Series and seeing what's going on. And then now you're getting a little excited about college football too, because it's going to be right around the corner.
Yep.
And, with what we have coming in and the prospects that we have that, are breaking it down to where they want to come play and be a Husker. But I think what it too means to be a Husker is more than just playing. I think it's the community, it's the people. I think it's everything encompassed all in one of what it means. And I think being down here, you see that with the following. I mean, none of these teams are close. Like the following that they have has been unbelievable. And I'm just so excited to see it. And, like I said, with as Schmidt touched on with, the weekend that we have coming up with one of our guys coming in and keeping him in state and how important that is to what it means to Nebraska as a whole. And we're just not talking Lincoln, Omaha. We're talking Western Nebraska. We're talking Northeastern Nebraska. We're talking the whole state. And the Big Red goes further than just Nebraska. And I've seen it in so many places. So just excited to see what happens and, just what is in the forefront for both programs.
And as we look at the College World Series and look ahead to Husker football, it kind of brought it back to something we've been talking about a good amount this week on the show, Schmidt and Job, and that's the confidence factor with Husker football. That's one of the things that really needs to get flipped, because we can see it with the development and some of this influx of talent that Matt Rule's brought in. I think they're more ready to go compete at a Big Ten level this season. Does that mean 7-5? Does that mean 10-2? I'm not ready to say just yet, but I think they are going to be more ready to compete at the Big Ten. As I look at the College World Series, you see 8 teams that, by all accounts, just to get here, you have to be a very talented team. They're pretty evenly matched, a lot of these teams. It's little differences in talent, whether it be one more starting pitcher you can turn to, one arm out of the bullpen that can keep on chugging through a College World Series. Whenever I look at that, I want to ask you the question, what's more important as you go to make a championship run, you try to make it through Omaha? Is it that one extra bat you have in that lineup, that one extra pitcher, that little difference in talent? Or is it the mentality of a team coming into Omaha? Because you look at the teams like Tennessee and like Florida that are here a ton. They've been talking Omaha their entire season long. Now that you're here, you wonder what type of different mentality they have as they step foot in Omaha. What matters more to you for a team that's trying to get over the hump, make a championship run, whether that's go win in Omaha, whether that's go win in the Big Ten? What's more important to you? Is it the talent or is it that mentality?
I think it's a little bit of both. And I think momentum's huge too. I think that plays a factor in kind of knowing, okay, people kind of doubt of us. We're going to come in and do our thing and just believe in ourselves, because that's the reason we got here. So I think there's a little bit bits and pieces of it all, where you're able to rely on talent. You're able to rely on the momentum of getting us here. And then at the end of the day, it's believing in the fact that you deserve to be here and we can win. And I think sometimes, like you said, they've been thinking this since day one. And now you get here, it's like, okay, that was our purpose, but our purpose isn't to be done here. Our purpose is to win. And like I said off air, I go, at the end of the day, you want to be the last one standing. And I think it's a mentality, like you said, where you just have to have that chip, and to make sure that you execute, get your work in, and do that. And it all comes to accumulation here. And sometimes the best team doesn't win. And we've seen that plenty of times. But the best team wins at that moment because of momentum, mentality, and everything they do. And I think it's an accumulation of so many things that get them to that point.
Joba Chamberlain, Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt, Will Wilson, Hail Varsity Roadshow here at Addy's, downtown Omaha, just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Chuck, 101 North 10th. If you Husker fans saying what's up, come see us here if you're making your way up for the night session, game one.
Let's be clear. They're saying what up to Joba, not to us.
Yeah, exactly. But you're invited out if you're in the area. Pop on over here to Addy's. But I think the little of both is correct when it comes to the championship level. What you don't want is a team to just, exhale, we got here, right? And a lot of those teams just get out talented, or you just get beat by a better team. What's sick is if you don't play your best football or play your best baseball. It's a situation where you are regretful that you just didn't have your best, and you got beat by a team that you can't accept was better than you. And with the difference in the championship teams, guys, is that killer instinct and the no blink factor. And when they get to the moment, they seize it and they survive it. And that is something that's so true, not only at the College World Series. You can be good, but man, it's great to be hot and good. Kind of a slog marathon for both aspects with college football and in college baseball. I want to go back to expectations for a moment. Nebraska fans are incredible. Nebraska fans get their hopes up a lot and have had their hopes up. And you've had Nebraska fans excited that Nebraska baseball's got to the postseason. I think that's a coaching staff and player expectation that Nebraska baseball is to get to a regional every year. Doesn't always happen. But should it be more than just getting to the postseason in the current neighborhood you're in, with the neighborhood getting a little bit more expensive houses, shall we say, with some West Coast flavor?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think you hit the nail on the head. Where are you just happy getting there, or and then you become satisfied in that no blink factor of what it is? I don't think you should just be satisfied getting to a regional. That's just my opinion. Yeah, is it great to get in the postseason? But if that's where it stops, and that's the mentality you have, and you're okay with it, then I don't accept that.
I don't think many teams are okay with it, but some are just, they stop and, oh, wow, we're here.
I can be okay with it for a year because it's been a couple years since you've made it to a regional. I can be fine if the team is happy with the progress they've made, but are you ensuring that it's a build? Is it make it to a regional this year, next year we want to host? Year after that, we want to go host a super regional. We want to go win a College World Series. Is there a build throughout your program of, yeah, we were able to take a stride this year, we have to take that next step?
Sure. It's not being satisfied. It's either it's progress, but progress can turn into underachievement. Mm-hmm. And that's what you don't want. Want to get our shout outs in.
Can you be happy but hungry?
Yeah, absolutely. Well
I'm
put.
hungry.
Joba's ordering a lot from Addy's here. North 10th is where we're at. Hail Varsity Radio Roadshow, Friday, day one of the College World Series. Patrick, shout out Patrick. He was first. The other Dave is in. Mike Corrigan, Mike, good to have you. Sal is in, screaming GBR. And he's like, I'm still working. Grr. Jimmy, good to have you. Jimmy's got the College World Series on in his man cave. Jeff is here. Good to have you. Tuck is saying one day closer to football. NASCAR Eric, CWS Friday, says let's go. Good to have all of you. Ken is in. Ken, good to have you. Vic in Denver says cheers. Vic, cheers to you, my friend. KG was kidnapped by some very talented ninjas, it looks like. Coach Brandon is in. Crew, we'll just say it's now Tailgate Crew. We have nicknamed you. Tailgate Crew. Should I do 1 or 8 airport beers? Crew, brother, if you can afford 8 airport beers,
more power to you.
You are the man.
How long is your flight is a better question.
6 is what Tiger Shark Diver is recommending to Crew. 6, they are pricey. I think if he goes domestic versus foreign, he'll save a couple of bucks, maybe. KG wants 15 of them down. Justin, good to have you in. Robert, good to have you. As we are here at Addy's North 10th College World Series time, Hail Varsity Roadshow, and we're powered by Cornhead Lager. 489-1240, the number to get in.
The perfect place to go for lunch every day.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Michelle Franz and ABC News.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. And 76, visit staples.com/print for
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Summer brings plenty of challenges for your lawn and garden. This is Chris Goforth. Join me and the experts from Earl May Saturday mornings at 8:30 during In the Garden. We'll give you the tips and tricks to make the best out of your outdoor space. Saturday mornings at 8:30, only on KFOR.
Hey, Outdoor Nation, the fish are chirping and the birds are biting, and that means it's springtime here in Nebraska's great outdoors.
And we're here to help get you outdoors with the experts from the Nebraska Game and Parks every Saturday morning at 9:45 on KFOR.
Who doesn't love pizza, cold beer, and something sweet for dessert? Unfortunately, your liver doesn't. Liver stress can cause low energy, restless sleep, and an expanding waistline. Protect your liver and get a daily detox with Active Liver from New Nordic. Available in tablet or delicious gummy.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Thanks for hanging out. It's Hail Varsity Radio, powered by Cornhead Lager. We're here at Addy's, downtown Omaha, just right by the Charles Schwab Field. Walk-off for Carolina Blue as they are in the winner's bracket. 101 North 10th. We are right across from several hotels, and we are out back under a Coors Light tent. We're going to be having a Cornhead Lager here very shortly. Cheers, Joba. And we thank the amazing folks here at Addy's for having us. Joba, you've got a menu.
Yeah, you got to get the award-winning wings. The wings here got the ghost pepper, the spicy garlic, the honey chipotle barbecue. And I haven't tried it. I've heard great things here from Joba on the sriracha teriyaki sauce.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
We'll take more of your comments in the stream. Coming up, Bill Dolman in the 5 o'clock hour. He's imaginary. He wears red. Clausborne coming up at the Friday forecast. How could we get you to host a show down here at, is it the Cambria Hotel?
Isn't that where Tennessee's staying?
Might be.
That's right. That's right across from the old zip line.
Okay. We can work that out.
I'm pretty sure we illegally parked in their hotel parking lot one of these years. I think we've passed the statute of limitations. I think we snuck in when the security guard wasn't there.
Dude, when we parked today, Will, let me ask Will Wilson this, because Will with the morning hookup locally on KFOR, Will does every Thursday an Ask Me Anything segment. So I'm going to ask Will if you ever spent $40 to park.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But Will, where?
This was in Minnesota for a Vikings game a few years ago. That was a mistake.
Sure. Well, and the NFL, I mean, that's its own special hell. When
that's a racket.
Parking, parking prices. You kind of sneeze at the Royals. They're $20, right? We dropped 40, and the guy waving us in put us on a legit desert island. And I'm backing in, and I can't drive anyway, and I'm backing in, and I got the cameras going, and I think I'm going to sideswipe the front grills of very expensive foreign SUVs. And he's like, no, you're still on the sidewalk. I don't want you to get tagged by law enforcement. It's like, well, neither do I. I don't want to haul the equipment 17 miles away, come back, and, hey, Elijah, can I get a ride?
Well, I'm not sure if my parking spot was legal. And I have, from Husker football game days, I've played this game before of park illegally. They're not going to tow you. They'll give you that ticket, but that's still cheaper than a lot. Yeah. I don't know how they operate down here. I didn't see any no parking signs. That being said, nobody was parked where I was parked. Was that a dangerous game to play? Yes.
Will, do you have any?
I think my car will still be there, though.
Parking hell stories for us?
Oh, I got towed about 6 months ago. That was a disaster.
What happened?
Parked overnight in a place you're not supposed to park, and well, it turned into a whole other thing. Had to go to the DMV, get new plates. It was a disaster. Schmidt.
Oh no! Whoa. See, Joba, you ever been towed?
Oh yeah, plenty of times.
Seriously? Campus?
Yeah, I actually, my dad will love this story because I know he's listening because he's bored just sitting at home and it's too hot for him to be outside. I stole his handicap sticker when I had my knee surgery, so I parked in the West Stadium.
You were kind of handicapped, to be fair.
I mean, I was, and but
did
yeah.
you give it back?
Well, I did, but temporary is red, permanent is blue, and I had a blue one. And then after like 2 weeks, it got towed twice. Dad was not happy about that. So, yeah, but that's my tow story.
I have a buddy, Seth, who he had an old PT Cruiser back in the day.
Remember when those were like the hottest thing? You couldn't even, they were like 2 years out.
Yeah. No. Oh, well, that was like early in my life. Yeah. But he had one that was
make us feel old, Elijah. Thanks.
Sorry.
Yeah,
he had one that was like a salvage title, though. It had a failing transmission, and he got a boot put on it.
Oh.
And the price to get the boot off was like a couple $100, and the blue book on his car was cheaper than what his car was worth. Was cheaper than the boot. So he just said, they can just have my car. I'll go buy a new car for that price. And he left his car in a boot for like a month downtown, and then they just towed it off, and he's never seen that car since. He just went and bought himself a new car because it was going to be cheaper than taking the boot off. So shout out my buddy Seth.
Tiger Shark Diver is not a Chrysler vehicle fan. Man. Brian Snitley, part of the Boulder Peace Treaty, says the spicy garlic char buffs are money. That is his menu recommendation here at Addy's.
And that's Addy's Way, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm being informed
Addy's
here.
Way.
The Addy's Way, the char buffed
you guys will learn.
and or double dipped.
Ooh. This is sounding extremely tasty.
No, but you said you were just going to drink or you're going to eat your water, Schmidt.
No, I'm having water. I've got a water quota to hit.
No, but
He's 100 ounces away still.
Everybody listening, he said he was going to eat his water.
Well, you weren't here for a conversation on a Saturday morning where Schmidt was taking us through the monstrous amounts of water he takes down every single day. We're like up over a gallon a day.
130 to 150 ounces.
Easy.
My energy's good.
Lord.
I'm fine.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You know when you like,
if I ever get my nipple pierced, I might spring a leak.
Shout out to the Triple Play podcast. If that one,
Joba's story.
That one's going over your head. Check out today's Triple Play
This
podcast.
sounds like a good idea after a few crowns.
Well,
let's get double punched.
With 150 ounces of water a day, Schmidt, you know how sometimes you just try to use your stream to take down any stains on the toilet bowl? You have no problems with that, do you? That thing's coming out like a fire hose.
That's such a dude thing because
it's a bad visual.
It's
so true though.
If there's remnants, you're literally just playing like target practice. Everybody can relate. Every dude can relate to that. Don't act like you don't know.
Yep.
Let's dive into some football here. Going to go around the table, around the room. Once your comments in the stream as well. Nebraska's defense, top 5 in Phil Steele's College Football Bible. We'll talk to Phil this month. And so I gotta ask you, top 5 defense. They have the linebackers top 5 defensive line. Let me correct myself. Top 5 defensive line, top 20 linebackers. We know that the secondary is in flux with that opposite corner spot, Tommy Hill. True or false? Yes or no? Do you believe Nebraska will have a double-digit sack guy?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Elijah? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will? Yes. No. Maybe.
I think so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, to me, there's a couple of factors because I think your 2 likely candidates are Ty, Rob, and Nash.
Hang on. Do you have more than one?
And that's where I think a lot of that comes down to the edge rushers because you cannot be an individual on a bad defensive line and be putting up sack numbers because there's always that quarterback escapability. It comes down to, for those guys like Nash and Ty, can you get pressure off the edge with force that quarterback to step up into the waiting arms of Nash and Ty? Or on the flip side of things, can Nash and Ty push the pocket up, force that quarterback outside and make it easy on the edge rushers to go get double-digit sacks? Like if you do have a double-digit sack guy, that's not an individual effort. That's a team effort, in my opinion.
I think the candidates are pretty obvious. Of course, the Polar Bear had 8 last year, 7 or 8 last year. You have some edge talent going into year 2, trying to make a jump from a super freshman season with Cam Linhart, flashed early, battled some injury. Same with Prince Will, flashed, but battled some injury. The guy that is ready to explode is going to be Jamari Butler. Does the Polar Bear tag team with Ty Robinson? Are they both hovering at that 8 and 9 respectively, 10 to 9 numbers? Think of Crick and Sue, 10.5 and 12.5. Okay, that's how they finished in 09. But think about having a front 4-ish in this 3-3-5 that has 2 double-digit guys and a guy in the high single digits. You got to go back to Jay Moore's senior season, him and Carricker and that line combining for 52 sacks that led the country under John Blake. Nebraska has depth. Nebraska has talent. You got James Williams that had 3 sacks in 4 games. I've mentioned the young pups. We know the old guard. What's your number going into this season for team sacks? I think you can have 2. I will comfortably say you'll have 2 double-digit sack guys.
I'm not saying comfortably.
I think with that talent.
I think you'll be getting to the end of the year. There'll be a couple guys that are in that range of it's possible. 2 double-digit sack guys is a lot because you think back to Nebraska's 09 defense, which was vaunted. I think as a team it was 46 sacks. I think that's the number off the top of my head. I believe it was 46. I'm going to have to look up that number. But, like, if you got 2 double-digit sack guys, that's 2 guys with 20-plus combined. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of sacks. As you compare back to a couple of years, like Nebraska's been hovering in that 22 to 28 range in terms of team sacks for a couple of years now.
Anonymous comes in with some great points. We were talking up the depth with a lot of candidates. Mm-hmm. That depth also means situational greatness, where too much depth on the outside. There's 5 real good pass rushers, says Anonymous. They'll split the sacks. But a team total could be extremely high this year. It might just be sprinkled around. But I think you could see Ty get to that 10 sack number. Also, Tiger Sharks look, 3-3-5 isn't made for down linemen to get sacks, but they plug holes. That edge rush pressure is something. It's almost impossible to rack up sack numbers like the old days. Too much quick game. Ross chimes in with that. Cliff from Florida is in Puerto Vallarta. Good for you, Cliff. But the sack numbers, I think if you get in the low 40s, that's a good goal. I'm throwing out crazy numbers here. But I think you could have 2 of your real studs bust through despite some of those limitations from the down linemen, the outside guys. I think you could have someone bust through. I'm going to go with 2. Maybe I'm off. We'll burn the tape come December if I'm wrong here.
But do you think when it comes to that, do you think there has to be 2 guys where you have to double on one for the other to get, and then now the other?
There's others that can eat?
That can eat. Because you got to have your cake and eat it too.
I think you've got a couple of guys you got to worry about, right?
Right.
I mean,
so you're doubling. You can't double both of them.
No.
Because then, you expose and there's holes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to have 2 because
whoever's getting doubled, the other's got to kill it.
As we've said, and
seal meat.
You had a Jay Moore shout out, which he wore a great number in college. We're 44 buddies in Nebraska. Shout out Jay Moore. But yeah, I think you have to have 2 because then one exposes the other in the good way.
Mm-hmm.
Where now it's like you have to focus on one side, and then now it just opens up everything for them. And I don't disagree. I'm kind of on both sides of you guys.
Hold that thought. Hard break.
We'll carry it over.
Your thoughts, 489-1240. Also in the stream, we're live at Addy's, 101 North 10th, downtown Omaha, for the College World Series with Hail Varsity.
Hi, this is Connor Clark, voice of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. On Friday, the Dogs take on Gary South Shore. Airtime is at 6:15.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. And 7/6, visit staples.com/print for details.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hey, this is Dan Bongino, the former NYPD police officer.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you. It's Hail Varsity Roadshow Friday, day one of the College World Series, in the thick of it here at Addy's, 101 North 10th, here in downtown Omaha, not far from the Chuck. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, and Hall of Famer for Nebraska baseball, two-time World Series champ Joba Chamberlain. We have coerced him into staying, and we love it. The Triple Play podcast was the leadoff hitter. I don't know what part of the order we're in right now. God love Will Wilson for pulling some double duty in studio today as he's back at the station. We need to get Will a souvenir.
Yeah, Will's going to be with us today, most of next week. Jabba, we might need to get you up next Wednesday. I need to talk with you about that. Could be a good another Jabba show next Wednesday.
Expensive.
I'll buy you some steak bites, maybe.
Oh,
yeah, steak bites and a twisted tea.
Yeah, here because
careful with the twisted,
because they're free.
For
us, you guys have to pay.
No, we got plenty of Will coming for next week. I'm excited. It's been a while since we've had Will on the show. Our good friend Connor Clark, he's off doing Salt Dogs baseball. We were lucky enough to have him for a while. We've missed our friend Will Wilson. Always follow him on Twitter at Willie on the radio. You see him downtown Lincoln serving up the drinks and kicking people out of bars. Big tough guy, Will Wilson.
Will, you've had to pull bouncer duty
a couple times. You know,
I need that story real quick.
Give us your best one. I've been in the bar and restaurant industry for 18 years, so give it to me.
Well, Jabba, you know how it is, man. I mean, you just get a lot of these random people that walk in. You know, they're having bad days, and you know they're not even there to drink. They're just there to cause problems. You know, and it's annoying.
It happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Got an Illinois baseball jersey walking in here.
Illinois, I like it.
How about that? Large crew of guys. Florida baseball. They're repping everybody, really.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting the
Big Ten.
How you guys doing?
Wasn't expecting the Illinois baseball jersey pull today.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever been to Omaha. It'd be a shock if they had been.
Yeah, I don't know.
No chance.
Bouncer story. Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's funny? It was volleyball day in Nebraska. Just this random guy comes walking in, barking at two random guys, and I made the mistake of getting in his face. I thought I was going to take a right hander right to the cheek, but he thankfully walked away. Police came and arrested him. So many like that. Jabba, like you agree. That's basically how it goes.
That sounds like umpiring baseball minus the police coming and taking them away at the end. You get that coach coming out of the dugout. He's had a bad day. Just wants to yell at somebody. We've all been there.
Yeah. I've been thrown out of a few games, so yeah. But I didn't get arrested afterwards, so that's always good.
Wow, you didn't go Tony Soprano's sister?
No. I maintained myself.
Tackled at midfield.
Yeah,
God, TMZ would have loved that story.
Whoa.
Joba Chamberlain thrown out of game, led away from Yankee Stadium in cuffs.
But how about the dude that did the backflip in front of the security guard
in the Reds
the Reds games?
They tased one of them. Yeah,
tased him.
Well, did you see
an impressive backflip?
Did you see the courtroom appearance where the judge asked the guy, like, everyone seems to think he landed this backflip, and he says, "Your Honor, I think I did."
Good for him.
He stuck the landing.
Good for him.
So volleyball day in Nebraska. Jabba, were you ever at one of your bars or restaurants when Jabba had to become bouncer?
Oh yeah, I've drug a couple people out.
By their ear?
No, one of my favorite stories. He was being disrespectful, and all of these people in this industry, especially women. Shout out Catherine because she's probably listening and she's in this one, where he's just being disrespectful and probably had a few too many.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey. And it was after a game, and it was one of the bars we owned. And I was like, sir, we need to leave. And I go, I'll pay your tab. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And he dropped a couple expletives. And I was like, nope. And then he wouldn't leave. So I literally grabbed him by the back of his shirt, pulled him off his stool, and drug him for the first about 5 feet. Then he got up, and I walked him out the back. And he finally realized, he came to it, and he goes, what the hell are you doing here? And I was like, well, I own it. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And I was like, nope, you're fine.
Too late, but
go,
thank you.
Go get in the cab and beat the bricks, buddy. But yeah, that was probably my best one. Yeah, I haven't had too many others. I've been pretty fortunate.
This poses a question to listeners: have you been kicked out of a bar or establishment by Will Wilson or Joba Chamberlain?
Or rat your buddy out?
Yeah,
when you've been kicked out of a bar.
Hop in on the stream, the Hail Varsity YouTube page, the Hail Varsity Radio Twitter page. Give us your side of the story.
Horror stories on what you paid for parking and times you've been launched by the bouncer or you saw a barroom incident.
Hey, Will, you'll love this one. Tiger Shark said Will Wilson is the Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
It's like, yeah.
It's the biggest compliment you can get. Seriously. That is, yes.
And you went the appropriate Roadhouse, not the new.
No.
The new Roadhouse.
Yeah. Was that Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was there at the UFC event whenever Jake Gyllenhaal did the fighting in the octagon and was walking out. It seemed a lot cooler in the movie than it did there. There, it was like, what the hell? Because
it was staged.
They didn't announce it. You just see Jake Gyllenhaal's face pop up on the screen. He starts hopping out the tunnel. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's weird when they film stuff like that.
Yeah, so I was there. There's my claim to fame with the new Roadhouse movie. If there's ever a scene where you can see the nosebleed seats, I'm somewhere up there.
An unpaid extra.
You didn't pay the money for the nice seats?
Of course not.
NCZ got kicked out of a bowling alley one time.
Oh, solid.
Yeah, that's some random spots. There was one time, and Junior didn't throw too many fits as a kid, but he did throw a fit at the zoo. And I thought we were going to get launched from the zoo.
I got thrown out of one of Carter's baseball games.
Really?
From the dugout or from the stands?
Oh, from the stands. Yep, for sure.
But by an umpire, by like a field supervisor? Who was it?
No, it's...
Because they gave us the directive this year as umpires in the state of Nebraska is we can't throw out fans anymore.
It was literally the home plate umpire. I was giving him the business.
So
was he awful?
Oh, yeah. It was very warranted. Everybody was like, you're right. You're the only one that'll speak up on it. He let me have my piece because he knew he was wrong. The field umpire is the one. And I was sitting down. I was already done yelling. And the field umpire,
you were done.
I was done. I was literally going back, and the field umpire threw me out. Carter was like, good job, Dad. So I was like, okay, I didn't embarrass my son too much. So
DJ weighs in and tells I got launched story. DJ says, got arrested at the rail for asking one bouncer if I could go out for a smoke and come back in. He says that's fine, but when I came back in, another bouncer thought I skipped the line. Ooh. They called the cops. I was arrested and had a fun court case. DJ, I love you sharing that story, man.
That's fantastic.
Sorry it happened.
Of course it's at the rail.
How did it end up, DJ?
That's a great color on you.
Job spitting game live on the air.
I'm just giving credit where credit's due.
Well, so
I'm taken, so it doesn't matter.
We have veered off. We have veered off of sack total for Nebraska football to toe jobs and
getting arrested at the rail,
and getting launched by a bouncer. It's all in a Good Friday. Clausborne will join us in less than an hour. He's imaginary. He wears red. He has his CWS predictions. Bill Dolman, 15 minutes away. Husker legend Joba Chamberlain, Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt at Hail Varsity. Here at Addy's, we're powered by Cornhead Lager.
Are you ready for a summer to remember? Warhorse Horse Casino Lincoln is your destination for making memories and winning big. Not only are we host to over 400 of the hottest slots, sports betting, simulcast horse racing, and 24/7 gaming action, we're hosting massive giveaways all month long. Hit the slots every Thursday for your chance at a $250 Omaha Steaks gift card or $250 free slot play on select Sundays during Sunday Hot Seats. You could even walk away with your share of $40,000 every Friday during Punchboard Mania. The more points you earn, the more entries you'll receive. And when that midweek slump hits, come back on Wednesdays for the Pitch Perfect bonus game. Earn 25 points to activate even more free slot play. There's only one place it's all happening. Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Paid active portrayal.
Dude, guess how much I pay for $1 million term life insurance policy?
Gotta be at least $150 a month.
Nope. I got coverage through Ethos all online for less than $70 a month and no medical exam. Just answered a few health questions.
That's impressive. I'm shocked you have life insurance.
Wait, don't you? You have a wife and kids. What if something happens to you? With Ethos, you can start your coverage the same day.
Wow. I'm sold.
Get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's
Hail Varsity Radio is live. Now, back to Schmitty.
Schmitty's a great guy, but he don't have a brain.
And Elijah.
You want me to speak? When I point at you, yeah.
On Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you at Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager, Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, and Hall of Famer, World Series champ Joba Chamberlain, kicking off day one of the College World Series. We are here at Addy's downtown. We invite you down North 10th Street's where we're at, headed to the College World Series. Your perfect spot to head out before the game, during the game, or make it your stop after the game. Addy's here downtown. The steak bites are phenomenal that you ordered. Addy's, the Addy's way. So they're crusted, they're tender. And then Elijah, we love the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill Bang Bang sauce. It's phenomenal, and it is an incredible condiment. The Addy's sauce over there.
The Sriracha Teriyaki.
The Sriracha Teriyaki is just incredible as well.
That's a great mustache too, by the way.
I thought you were talking about me.
No, not yours. look at that thing.
Oh,
that is State Patrol money.
That is great.
Mm-hmm. Umpire / State Patrol. It is. Absolutely. Reminder to get buckled up if you are on the interstate. Use your seatbelt. It saves lives, prevents injuries only if properly worn. Make it click. A message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. We've been talking about sack total for Nebraska football. Do they have two guys, a minimum of two, that get double-digit sacks is the question. We're asking about your parking horror stories. What's the most you ever paid to park for an event? We're starting the bid at 40, and Will Wilson laughs at me when it comes to Viking football in Minnesota. And bar bouncing. Have you been tossed? Do you have a buddy that's been tossed from a bar for having one too many? DJ told us a story about getting arrested at the rail.
He paid the fine. It was all good, though.
Yeah, he was accused of cutting after going out for a smoky treat. He's all good. He paid a fine. It was fine. Mark from Houston, Texas Real Estate. Mark, good to have you listening in the stream and on YouTube, Hail Varsity YouTube channel. Mark once got towed from Walmart, the parking lot across from Texas Stadium during the Nebraska-Oklahoma title game. That was 2010. I did buy something. I did buy something, but they still towed me.
Ouch.
And based on how that game started versus how it ended, Mark, I'm man.
Yeah.
You should have just went to a bar and got kicked out.
At that point,
Not remembered the 17-point lead. They went away.
Yeah, luckily, I've never been towed. That's
I got a speeding ticket. I got a speeding ticket and a tow the same day.
What?
Oh yeah, heading down to campus during my third senior year.
Hold on. Did you say third senior year?
Yes, it took me a while to get out of the broadcast and journalism department.
It's a vaunted major to try to take on.
No, the classes are incredible. The stuff you got to take is part of the major.
Okay. Pretty impressive.
The non-talking part.
Schmidt struggled with math, is what he's saying.
Yes, I did, and yes, I do.
Yeah, the only reason I graduated because I got to take Spanish online during COVID. That was nice.
Yep. That's
Stop making us feel old, Elijah.
That is the curtain call. Hour 2 is coming up. Bill Dolman has a story or several on bar bouncers and towing. The Pride of Fairbury next. Hour 2 here at Addy's with Hail Varsity.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1, find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2, have a plan to get there. Step 3, make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all 3 with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Paid active portrayal. Dude, guess how much I pay for $1 million term life insurance policy?
Gotta be at least $150 a month.
Nope. I got coverage through Ethos all online for less than $70 a month and no medical exam. Just answered a few health questions.
That's impressive. I'm shocked you have life insurance.
Wait, don't you? You have a wife and kids. What if something happens to you? With Ethos, you can start your coverage the same day.
Wow. I'm sold.
Get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333. Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
This is your station for local news, talk, sports, and weather. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Flashing a thumbs up, President Biden about his meeting with Pope Francis as the U.S. chief executive prepared to get on Air Force One to fly out of Italy. The G7 top democracies meetings ended. It went well, he says. Reaction from a decorated Air Force veteran and father of 4 who created the bump stock gun accessory after the Supreme Court struck down a Trump-era ban.
I believe that the justices made a good ruling.
This is a win for the American people.
Jeremiah Cottle, the bump stock was used in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history, the 2017 Las Vegas massacre. The U.S. Army once again suspending operations off the humanitarian aid pier it built off Gaza's coast in Jerusalem. ABC's Jordana Miller.
It's the third suspension in a month. This time again, the destructive high seas to blame. They recently broke apart the $230 million pier. Now, to avoid it happening again as more bad weather comes in, U.S. officials say they will move the pier to Israel's Ashdod port. The pier was meant to deliver 2 million meals a day to Gaza's hungry, but it's fallen short of that goal.
Also in the trouble from bad weather department, ABC's Dave Packer.
Forecasters say the worst of the monster storms that dumped up to 20 inches of rain in southern Florida have passed. France Lumine's North Miami home flooded.
It's like a wave coming to the house.
Neighbor Angelo Ferreris.
I can tell it's gotten to a lot of our neighbors' homes. I've seen them walking by with bags of clothes.
The state providing 100 pumps to remove water from affected areas.
The Justice Department says it won't be charging Attorney General Merrick Garland with a crime. House Republicans found him in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over the sound recording of President Biden's interviews with special counsel Robert Hur. The Assistant Attorney General saying, just as with President Trump, they don't prosecute cases in which executive privilege was claimed. You're listening to ABC News.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
A fatal drowning. Hello, I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News. It's 89 degrees in Lincoln. A teen has died after an accidental drowning Thursday night on the south side of Holmes Lake in southeast Lincoln.
A 16-year-old male had been swimming in Holmes Lake and had been lost from view.
Police Captain Dwayne Winkler tells KFOR News officers and LFR were dispatched to the area of Hyde Observatory. Rescue divers from LFR and help from the Nebraska State Patrol Air Wing searched for the teen who was soon found dead. Captain Winkler says the teen's name has yet been released and the investigation is still ongoing. Lincoln police are investigating 2 reports of women being assaulted on a stretch of the Mopac Trail between 56th Street and North Cotner Boulevard. LPD Public Information Manager Erica Thomas says a 25-year-old woman walking on Thursday morning was approached by a man on a bike who complimented the victim on her appearance and asked for her phone number.
She declined. The suspect rode off, then returned and slapped her hard on her buttocks.
The victim described the suspect as a light-skinned Hispanic or black male in his 20s, about 5'8", 160 pounds with short, kinky black hair, wearing a white shirt and long, dark pants. A similar incident happened on June 7th, where a 39-year-old woman was running at the time. The victim was slapped on her buttocks twice. An effort is underway to try and restore at least 100 old trophies and awards that were tossed out at Northeast High School last week. On Tuesday, Lincoln Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Paul Gausman said during a school board meeting the district will take the collected trophies back, pay for costs to fix many that were damaged, in finding a way to properly display them. Jeff Buss is a 1980 graduate of Northeast and the administrator of the school's alumni Facebook page. He tells KFOR News they were turned over on Thursday to LPS.
Many of the trophies were in bad disrepair, so I'm not sure that all of them will be able to be repaired. But there was enough parts and so forth that I think they'll be able to fit a lot of them back together.
Buss says there are a bunch of ideas on how those awards will be displayed, but nothing definitive. More of this story is up at KFORnow.com. Chance of thunderstorms tonight with a low near 67. I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News.
I got a carpet shock the other day. It really hurt. I bet getting hit by lightning is like, what, 1 billion times worse? I'd advise against it. Avoid the lightning and severe spring weather.
I'm not about to do that when it's lightning outside.
Know what's coming before it gets here. Stay connected, and you'll stay safe with the vital information you'll need when severe weather strikes. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Keep up with the local news, sports, your favorite talk shows, and pro shows on KFOR wherever you roam. Stream us 24/7 at KFORnow.com or on your mobile. You can download the free iHeart or TuneIn app and stream KFOR on the go.
The following is a
The voice of Husker Nation is on the air. This is Hail Varsity Radio. Insight, opinion, expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel.
Back with you. It's hour 2. It's Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager. We're here at Addy's, North 10th, downtown. It is fill it up. There's some Tennessee Orange. There's some folks singing Rocket Top. And lots of beautiful people here as it is glorious. Gorgeous day for the College World Series. Elijah Herbel is fixing my computer because I'm an idiot. Joba Chamberlain is here. Will Wilson back at the studios, the pride of Fairbury in SEC country. Bill Dolman with us, NBC Sports, the professor at Bill Dolman on Twitter. Bill, we have talked College World Series. We have had some fun with how many sack leaders does Nebraska have on the defensive front. Phil Steele says the Big Red have a top 5 defensive line. That equals what? 2 or more double-digit sack guys. I want your thoughts on that. But first, $40 to park is what that pound of flesh cost me. So be it. Okay. Also, 'tis the season to get kicked out of a bar. Summertime and College World Series time. Bouncer stories. We have comments coming in. One guy ejected from the rail. Ken bounced in Appleton, Wisconsin. The Packers hung out, tipped my Vegas buddies. The O-line was out till 3 a.m. before a Sunday night game. Favre got sacked 3 times. Tyler from Wichita is in, and NCZ has more knowledge for us. But start with the parking horror story.
Well, this is going to take up all of those subjects will take up my entire segment, which is just fine because we are in the off season right now. And now is when we would typically, when we were doing the Average Joe Sports Show, be talking about a professional wrestler that passed away. And that took up the entire 3 hours of the show.
Too many shots to the dome, steelchairdome.com, right?
Right.
Speaking of,
you're always looking.
Highly recommend the Iron Claw on Max. If you haven't seen it, I'll let you continue, Bill.
I'm just saying you're always looking for that topic that's going to take up the day, and pull up a chair, if you will. So parking issues is that what's the first question to me?
What's the worst you've ever got punched on parking?
Okay, well, I was a student at the University of Nebraska, so that just right there is there's a line that you're on one side of it or you're on the other. So I don't remember if one came first or the other, but I do remember one time when I was I worked in the athletic department, so I would park every now and then in that South Stadium lot right next to it because I had to work, and I got like 2 or 3 tickets one day parking in the same spot. And I was infuriated because, look, I had a pass to park there, but they still gave me tickets anyway. So I wrote perhaps the greatest letter or greatest essay that I wrote during my 5 years of college because I claimed double jeopardy that I could not be prosecuted for the same crime twice.
But you said 8 times.
Right. So look, you're giving me 1 parking ticket for 1 violation, but then you gave me another and another. That's double jeopardy. And I wrote like a 1,000-word essay on the Constitution and that I could not be prosecuted twice or more times for the same violation. That got waived. Now, again, I don't know if that happened before or after another incident. Having worked in the athletic department, one of my jobs was to go work Buck Belcher Stadium, Nebraska baseball games, all right? So my buddy Ben Boyle from York, one of the Killer Bees, he and I worked together, and we'd go do the PA, or we would run the music and we'd run the scoreboard. Well, one day I'm doing the PA at Buck Belzer, and I'm watching along. I don't remember what that street was that went around left field wall. Okay. I'm seeing this Toyota Celica on the hook behind a tow truck, and I'm going, that looks like my car. That is my car. So I'm sitting there.
The PA mic and say, stop, wait.
Well, in the PA was such that you didn't have to have the mic on, but you could talk to the left fielder because those Sparkomatic speakers were right below the Buck Belzer scoreboard. So you could say something to Bobby Benjamin or Ken Harvey or Ken Ramos or whomever and say, hey, lift up your glove or play some air guitar, and they would do it, right? John Sanders was not a big fan of that. But I remember going, look at that car. It looks like my car. That is my car. And I would bet money that the left fielder and the center fielder both turned and watched my car be towed away along that street. And I had nothing I could do about it. That was my Celica on the hook. So I don't know if they did that to get retribution for my constitutional essay, or if I wrote the essay after which they towed me for another violation. But yeah, I had my run-ins with the university parking police.
What about getting kicked out of any bars?
Okay, so.
Yes, that's always good.
Well, first, couple things. I worked at P.O. Pears in the summer. Best summer job a kid could ever have because I got half price everything all the time. So I was not exactly the most feared door guy, right? When they said, you're a bar back, when something went down, I went back to the bar, right? So I never really had to worry about, tossing anybody out because I certainly did not look like Joba. Okay. But I will tell the story, and maybe you've heard this one before. So in another life, I made a trip over to Ireland with my then significant other. And I had gone about almost 10 years without having a drop of alcohol, and I wanted to make it at the 10-year mark and then, maybe, imbibe in a beverage from time to time, which has certainly been the case. So I'm at a pub in Ireland, Dirty Nelly's, arguably one of the oldest pubs in Ireland. And we're over there, and the place is packed. And the server comes over, and she says, would you like to have a drink in her Irish lilt? And I said, I would, but could I have a Diet Coke? And people start to look at me kind of funny, like, look, wait a minute, you're in a pub in Ireland, and you're going to have a Diet Coke? And it was like getting kind of tense around us, right? And the person I was with said, just get a beer. Just get a beer, okay? I said, okay, do you have an O'Doul's? Let me tell you something. You do not ask for an O'Doul's in Ireland at one of the oldest pubs. They're about ready to line up to grab me by my collar and my belt and just toss me out on the street like dwarf tossing, right? So that becomes the moment when I look out of panic and I look up and I see this illuminated sign that says Guinness. Have a Guinness. And that was the moment that my love affair with Guinness began.
And you said, just kidding. I'll have a pint of Guinness, please. Bill Dolman, nearly the only man in America to get bounced by a bouncer for non-alcoholic beer.
Well, it was in Ireland, though. I mean, I
know.
Yeah.
I know. And that's what's, it was it was like the scene in Animal House and they walk into the bar. The whole place stops and this guy's asking for a Diet Coke in Ireland.
Yeah, we were like at the Irish version of the Dexter Lake Club, and
we were going to die.
And Otis, my man, does not recognize me from Delta Tau Chi. Yeah, without a doubt, that was quite the memorable moment. But that began what is now about a 20-year love affair with Guinness.
This all started with Will Wilson having to toss some angry dude during volleyball day in Nebraska. This was seconded by Joba kicking somebody out of his club. Elijah and I have behaved throughout our life, and we've never been asked to leave.
At least not that we remember.
Or establishment. And we've all had parking horror stories. Bill, get a switch to football. And yes or no, does Nebraska's depth hurt or help the question about two guys or more with 10 sacks for Nebraska football? Phil Steele says The D-line is top 5 per his projections. We know that jack position's important off the edge. You've also got a seal meat eater in the polar bear. And, of course, Ty Robinson. Jamari Butler could explode. Does he get 8, 9, 10 sacks? Hutmaker, either way, is
Princewell.
somebody that had 8. Lenhart. So where are you at here? I think they could exceed. What'd you tell me, Elijah? 40-plus sacks?
40-plus would be like on par with Nebraska's 2009-2010 defense. Last year they sat at 32.
So what's the total number? What's a good number? Hurries is huge, obviously. And who are your 2 guys that could get double-digit numbers? Do you think that happens?
I think Nebraska's depth hurts that stat, and it helps the defense. I'm not as concerned about sacks as I am tackles for losses, and there's a difference.
That's the Tony White gold,
right? I think if you are getting to running backs trying to stretch the field wide to get to the corner and they can't, that's where the speed at the safety and the outside linebackers and those kind of guys, because they're more in that Ed Stewart mold, right? But we've also seen Singleton, if he's healthy, or Princewell, was phenomenal last year. Or look at a Lenhart, who's a unique defensive tackle at about 250, 260, somewhere in there. He's got a lot of speed. I'm more concerned with Nebraska having, and I don't know what a good tackle for loss number would be in total. Would that be double the sacks? Would that be like 70? I don't know. But to me, if you've got people who are cutting off the corners and forcing, backs and whomever to reverse field just to try to scramble the back to get to the line of scrimmage, I think that's much more of an important statistic for Nebraska than however many sacks one guy gets. I mean, if you're thinking, we got to have that one great sack guy. No, I don't need Mark Gastineau if you want to go way back in the day, or Michael Strahan or something like that. I would rather have about 5 or 6 guys with 10-plus tackles for losses than 1 or 2 guys with 20 sacks. Because let me tell you also, if you can get to the quarterback, not just hurries, but make those just ever so close hits on a Shedeur Sanders in the fourth quarter, or whoever the quarterback is, if you're getting there and popping them a little bit and making them nervous, that's as effective as getting a spectacular sack.
And that's the thing I was going to say about sacks, but you kind of hit on it there at the end, is the value of sacks as
I did not do it.
As the fire truck goes screaming by, I assume everyone can hear that. And the ambulance. Wow.
Good luck, guys.
One thing I'll say, though, about sacks is the value it brings, and Hurries is in the same boat as well, but if you can, through sacks and through pressure, speed up a quarterback's clock so that 4-second internal clock becomes a 2.5, a 3-second internal clock, the value that gives your defensive backroom in terms of forcing quarterback into bad throws, A, but then B, those blindside hits, that pressure from the backside that leads to a forced fumble, I think can help Nebraska in that turnover differential category, which we know has been a problem for Nebraska for years and years now.
I will agree with you. Look, here, sacks help the most are the guys who make them, because then they start to make money, right? The more sacks, the merrier the cash, or the bigger the Happy Meal under the table. Excuse me. But
here's not on the table anymore, Bill.
But here's the deal, though.
Come tax time, yes.
if you have tackles for losses, right, on first, second down, and you force second and third and long, now you set up your quarterback to have to drop back, and then you can tee off, and that sets you up for a potential sack or a hit, right? You also change the game plan, because look, if you're unable to move the line of scrimmage, and Hutmaker and Robinson and Lenhart are making 2 and 3 yard tackles behind the line, or you're trying to stretch that field sideline to sideline to catch the corner, and you've got some speedy linebackers or Russians who are getting there and dropping you for a 2-yard loss or something like that, that changes the game plan, because that gets into the offensive coordinator's head. These guys are fast, and we also can't run up the middle because they're either clogging the line or those linebackers are coming in and plugging up the holes, and you set up 2nd and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. that sets up the quarterback to be sacked on third down. So the more you can have short gains, no gains, and tackles for losses, to me is far more important than somebody having 10, 12 sacks. That's all you're doing is setting up an All-America resume. I would rather have a bunch of guys who are pounding the quarterback and making their days miserable and making offensive coordinators rethink their game plan.
Nebraska's going to be so unique with some guys that are proven when we talk depth and those coveted hockey line changes and your third down package. I mean, James Williams is a guy that 3 sacks in 4 games. What's his number look like as he's got the ability to preserve that red shirt last year, appeared in just 4 games. Lenhart and Princeville, that jump in year 2. Your 2 elder statesmen that are ready to win and win now. And then even some of the linebackers and the secondary, when they come off the edge.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of chaos with the Tony White defense.
That's where the 5 part of the 3-3-5 is so effective. If you've got good cover guys and you've got that athletic speed guy that knows how to hit that angle and beat the edge, that's the guy who gets to the quarterback. That's the beauty of the angles, the geometric, concepts of the 3-3-5. Because if you've got speed in the secondary and you can turn some guy loose every now and then, you can't do it all the time. But if you time it right, then you're going to have sacks out of the secondary. And nobody thinks about that.
Bill Dolman with us, Pride of Fairbury, NBC Sports. Billy D, enjoy SEC country. Having no duels?
Or Guinness.
We'll check in with you soon.
I haven't ordered an O'Doul's since I learned my lesson at Dirty Nelly's that day back in the early 2000s.
Bill, appreciate you, man.
See ya.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential. Because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All-American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hello from the 1011 newsroom. I'm Madison Pitch. Coming up tonight, we are learning more about the tragic drowning death of a North Star student last night at Holmes Lake. Plus, multiple people assaulted on a Lincoln Trail this month, and police are wondering if you know the suspect. And we've got our final totals for our 1011 Can Caravan Drive. These stories and more tonight. I hope you'll join us on 1011.
Are you ready for a summer to remember? Warhorse Casino Lincoln is your destination for making memories and winning big. Not only are we host to over 400 of the hottest slots, sports betting, simulcast horse racing, and 24/7 gaming action, we're hosting massive giveaways all month long. Hit the slots every Thursday for your chance at a $250 Omaha Steaks gift card or $250 free slot play on select Sundays during Sunday Hot Seats. You could even walk away with your share of $40,000 every Friday during Punchboard Mania. The more points you earn, the more entries you'll receive.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Thanks for hanging out. Hail Varsity Roadshow. Friday, we're here at Addy's, downtown Omaha, 101 10th Street. We're out back, patio, all sorts of baseball fans here, and we're not too far from the Chuck. Joba Chamberlain, Husker great, road tripping with us today. Good to have Elijah Herbel on site. Big thanks to Will Wilson for helping make that happen. Chris Schmidt, Bill Dolman, a must-listen-to segment. We have gone out of the baseline a little bit today with a couple of topics. We've been football-centric, and we focused in on, baseball expectations for Nebraska. But when it comes to the football topic, we were asking sack total for Nebraska 2024, and do you have two or more guys with double-digit sack numbers? But we've really talked about your parking horror stories. How much have you been punched in the face to pay for parking? And have you been launched from a bar?
Well, let it be known, Schmidt, have we gone out of the baseline? Yes, a little bit. But as the baseball rules aficionado, the baseline doesn't apply until a play is being made on the runner, being a tag. No one's called it and complained yet. I'd consider that a tag. So considering there's been no play applied, I think it's perfectly fair for us to go outside the baseline.
No, it's all good. It's fun.
It's like the rat in the outfield play?
Something like that.
Coming from the umpire.
Vic chimes in, as usual, masterclass by the Professor Dolman. Listen to Bill's segment. Catch us in the first hour. Joba Chamberlain with us talking some baseball. The Hurrdat Sports Podcast, the Triple Play Pod, Joba, Elijah, myself on that. We had an hour lead up and lead off to day one of the College World Series. Nipple piercing, among what else discussed?
Baseball,
yeah. Baseball, and nipple
piercing. There was some of that.
CWS.
Yeah, there was some of that.
Famous NC State alumni.
Yeah.
That we forgot.
Yeah, totally forgot. But Clausborne is with us in 15 minutes. He's imaginary. He wears red. You can always stream the show, Hail Varsity YouTube, and watch on the Hail Varsity Radio Twitter feed. Give us a follow there at H Varsity Radio. So another football topic. I love it this time of year. Warm weather. Folks are enjoying themselves out and about. Great to be up in Omaha today. So we talk sack numbers. Let's talk about who has the most to lose. And we'll center it here on college football. We'll center it in on the Big Ten. Is it super obvious that it is Ohio State? There's about 5 programs that I say are in this conversation. That's 5 of the 18. Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Penn State, Illinois. Those are my 5.
Okay. I have a slightly different list. We'll get that in a second.
But I've got my 5. You give me your 5. Who do you think?
So number 1 for me is obviously Ohio State, with the pressure that you have having not beaten Michigan in a couple of years that need to get to a college football playoff and do well. Ohio State tops my list. I put Penn State in there as well because everyone's been waiting for a breakthrough with James Franklin. It hasn't quite come. He's getting close to Bo Pelini territory in terms of fan restlessness in my book, in terms of you're good, but you're not great. This is a great opportunity, 12-team playoff for you to make it to a college football playoff. I don't put Michigan in there. I put Iowa in there. Kirk Ferentz has been a mainstay at Iowa. You've changed the offensive coordinator spot. Does the offense at Iowa have any change whatsoever? If it doesn't, if Iowa's not able to, I don't want to say break through, but if they're not able to make any noise in a divisionless Big Ten, I think Kirk Ferentz might be starting to get a little bit worried. I will also put Illinois in there because of the make or break time with Bielema. Last one I'll put in there is Fleck in Minnesota.
Because Fleck's there for you. That's good call.
Because Fleck has been shopping around at different jobs. Minnesota hasn't quite lived up to that year 2 whenever they go 11-2 with that bowl game loss. You haven't quite lived up to that if you're Minnesota. Fleck has been kind of middling in that 7-5, 8-4 territory. It's, again, another chance for you. You're Minnesota. You're not expected to be a college football playoff team every single year. But with how hot you started at Minnesota, if you start to lose steam, I don't think he gets fired, but I would look at him starting to look around and say, you know what, I'm not going to make the fans here happy.
You lose steam, and you can't go get that better job. He's buried in a pro market.
Yep.
He's buried in the shadow of the Vikings. He's buried in the shadow of the T-Wolves now.
And then you're on a slippery slope towards getting fired.
Then do you get whacked?
Yes.
Yeah. And you have to end up nothing
And then
against
where do you end up, though?
Well, he's done well enough and developed well enough that he could get another decent gig, but It ain't going to be in the Power 2 conference, SEC or Big Ten. You have a team or two that is in that conversation here, most to lose.
I mean, obviously Ohio State. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer in what they've done.
Their expectations.
And that goes back to kind of what we prefaced early in the show. Is like, are you just happy with getting there? And their expectation is always to not only get there, but to win. And so when you fall short of that, and I think that's the biggest one. I love when Elijah brought up Minnesota because it's a it's from a different perspective because we are all sports people, but we all think differently. And when he brought that up, I was like, man, I didn't really even think of that. And knowing in the aspect of kind of what he's done and now the hot starts and everything that
he's a good coach,
but
not real likable, but a good coach.
Well, he gave the perfect aspect. It's the Pelini effect where, yeah, I'm going to win 8-9, but I don't win the big ones. And he's not.
I don't stay at the big level.
And he's not likable. But as much as people and all of our listeners that are listening right now, I was a huge Bo fan because he was a baseball guy. His dream job was to be a bullpen coach. And so
that would have gone well.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to do anything. He puts a dip in and goes to work.
I'm thinking the screaming part.
Well, you don't have to scream at that point. But that's the thing that happens. And that was a great point by Elijah in what he does in the aspect of, yeah, we start hot, but we don't win that big one.
Yep.
And now you're kind of in that realm of like, are we here or are we here? Like, we're kind of right here. Are we going to make that next step? And I think that's a thing where you're just like, that's a huge aspect of when you talk about who in limbo or whatever. And that was great by Elijah bringing that up.
I think one of the biggest things is, and it's different when you talk about Ohio State compared to Iowa or Minnesota, but fan restlessness can be big. It's a different kind of lose. If you lose the fans, you've lost your program.
Everything.
And I think if we're going to rank them, it is Ohio State because it's Michigan or bust this year.
Yep. Where do you put Nebraska though?
They're number 2 for me. And let me say this: that's high. You're like, damn homer. No, I'm not being a homer. I'm saying they're second because Michigan right now there's a coaching change, right? And this is all right. How's the dude look in year 1? Do they stay in power? Right? Does Michigan stay in power despite losing everybody, despite all sorts of coaching staff turnover? Is the blueprint bulletproof? With Nebraska, you have excitement, you have recruiting, you have momentum, you have a schedule that you've been dying for years. You've got a quarterback, and you've got a really good head coach. You've got a really kick-ass defensive coordinator. You have experience and depth on the lines. And listen, I'm not asking or talking about a playoff run, but beat who you're supposed to beat somebody maybe you're not supposed to beat, and be in every single ball game that's a coin flip or you might even be underdogged in. And if that happens and it's still 8-5 or 7-5, fans will be okay. But you can't have close losses continue. And you're at this launching point moment right now, guys, where if you get it done, you exceed expectations or meet expectations, it is so much downhill from a momentum standpoint with the fan base, the recruiting, and then the national notoriety. You have a chance to be relevant again because people love your coach. Your coach is damn good. But if you can hit, that's awesome. If you stub your toe against Colorado, it better not be a seesaw type year. You can't go 0-4 in November. They know that. I'm not throwing crazy expectations on them, even though it's a difficult November. But Nebraska's right up there because is it, 4th of July is a month away. Does the firecracker go off and does it pop, or is it a dud?
Well, the thing that I like Nebraska that makes me struggle to put them in the top 5 of most to lose is I think they have more to gain than they have to lose.
Okay.
And because you have to look at
in what
the totality.
Though?
Like if you get to 6-6 this year, Husker fans will they'll forgive, and they'll say it's a freshman year under Dylan Riley. You have another year to build some more talent around him. Like
they'll deal with. I think, as long as you get to postseason. But if you're 6-6,
I think Wisconsin has more to lose than Nebraska in my book. We haven't even talked about Wisconsin because it's year 2 under Fickell. If Fickell doesn't show substantive results and improvement from year 1, those Wisconsin fans are going to become really, really restless.
But he's square peg, round hole with what he wants to run versus the talent he has.
And that's why I think
give him a little more grace.
Do his fans? I think Matt Rule gets a lot of grace here because you're building up from years and years and years of 3-9. That's where I come from. You have more to gain than you have to lose. And don't get me wrong, there's not nothing to lose for Nebraska in 2024. There's very important strides that you should or you need to and realistically more should make in 2024 with a better quarterback, year 2 of development. But if it's not a pop season, I think Husker fans will say, you know what, it's the slow build. We need a slow build. It's going to be a long way from the bottom to get back up to the top. I think there's more to gain than there is to lose. I'm not saying Nebraska's way at the bottom of the Big Ten Conference. They're still top 10, but I don't put them close to 5. I put them closer to 10 than I do 5.
This is huge because this might be your final party with Tony White, your final party with these incredible defensive line folks on the interior and your offensive line. It's not that you haven't recruited well. You absolutely have, but you've got a billion career starts. Got to make it happen this year to the tune of get to that 8-win number and be in contention in November. Illinois, and you have the pig farmer, one with a lot of really good players from Lovey.
Yeah.
Now what, right? They've been at least bowl bound in his first year. That was a wow. And then they went 5-7 last year and lost to Nebraska. That was really deflating. It may completely be out of air. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat, but any momentum Illinois had built up after that first year, think of their win over Nebraska. I mean, that kind of launched things. So Illinois and their relevancy or even being kind of respected in the league is on the line this season.
Can we agree here, though, for a lot of teams, I think this year, 2024 in particular, there's more to lose than in most years because of the changing nature of college football and the changing Big Ten.
Sure.
You're into a divisionless Big Ten. If you don't get started off on the right foot, these West Coast teams coming in, if you don't get started off on the right foot, you're in danger of never quite being able to build momentum and be stuck in the mediocrity that Nebraska was stuck in when they joined the Big Ten.
You get passed up, they climb the ladder over you,
and you're stuck.
And you're in the rear view. I think there's a little bit of a pass with all of the Pac-12 teams because it is a transition. But we'll continue this discussion probably for the Saturday edition. Clausborne next.
Hi, this is Connor Clark, voice of the Lincoln Salt Dog. Catch Salt Dog's baseball games home and away all summer long right here.
FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR.
Get everything for your next project today at Menards and save big money. Keep your walls and trim protected while you paint with Scotch Blue Painter's Tape. It's designed for use on multiple surfaces and can be removed easily without leaving residue behind. Save big on Scotch Blue Painter's Tape from Menards. Also, view our weekly flyer on menards.com and check out all of our great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or Ceiling Paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for your/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, it's Bill.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Thanks for hanging out. It's Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel. Got a bit of an echo going on. I'll turn it down on this end, and we welcome in. He's imaginary. He wears red. It is Clausborne time with the Friday forecast. Claus, do we have you?
Well, I think you just came to me. I'm sorry. I've been listening to a particular Tim Cross song all day long. Reparation was constantly hearing from the Nebraska pitching great, so I was going a little loud here.
Let's try redialing Claus. It is sketchy, and Joba's on his way back in, Claus, so we will connect you and Joba here shortly. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, and Joba Chamberlain here on the road at Addy's, 101 North 10th Street, downtown Omaha, day one of the College World Series. Always welcome to stream the show, the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. It's where you can like and subscribe. Give us some feedback with the podcast. Spotify, iTunes, Google Play is where you can get the podcast, the segments you like, or the entire show. At H Varsity Radio is also where you can follow on Twitter. So Joba is back in. Excited for that. We welcome Clausborne back in. Claus, do we have a better connection? Do you have us, bud?
I got an echo.
Yeah. What's happening with the phones?
You should be there. Claus, do you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Now we got you, Claus. Now we got you.
Well, Claus, do you have us?
I've got you now. I had to turn down my Tim the spot. Up like it was a Friday night in 2006.
Claus, are you traveling? Are you hiking?
Claus is somewhere south of the border. Is that a possibility?
Whenever we have problems, we need to call the international law offices.
Yeah, where's Interpol?
Tiger Shark Diver checks in, says, Claus, leave the tunnel 6,000 feet underground. Claus, do you have us?
We can hear background.
Anything we can text our friend?
We're trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, he should be hearing us, guys.
489-1240, number 2, get in.
I can hear
So
whoever
he
back
is
in the
connected but
studio,
can't hear.
Nobody who is in.
So what's punched up on the
whatever
board? All
location.
4 of them?
It shouldn't be all 4. It should be the top 2 plus utility.
And is it routed?
Should be.
Okay.
I can hear you now,
Claus,
Christopher.
okay, now we're good. Klaus, let's get into the College World Series. And who's your favorite? Who are you rooting for in Omaha?
Well, I suppose the easiest thing to do would be to pick the team that wears red and has an N on their cap. So that's what I'm going to do, the easiest thing, and I'll take North Carolina State.
Oh. So agrees with Elijah.
Klaus, I need to know your stance on the Jello shot chase. Tennessee is annihilating the competition. Is that something you'd be down with participating in?
Thank you very much.
I heard you say Tennessee is dominating the race. Really, I thought it was going to be pretty wide open. If LSU had made it, it would have been like Max Verstappen in Formula One. We already know who's going to take the crown. It's who's going to come in second. But Tennessee, I would have thought, unless they're making them with moonshine now, wouldn't have been that far out ahead. But I suppose up on Rocky Top, they'll drink just about anything.
Clausborne is with us here on Hail Varsity Radio. I think we got all the bugs worked out. Gray Woman 79. So hang tight. Klaus, we discussed bouncers and parking. If you had to pick, would you rather be a bouncer or a meter maid?
Well, I'd probably have to go with meter maid. It'd be a little bit more productive. I know you would choose to be a bouncer because it would be your chance to turn the tables and reject the ladies from getting in.
Wow.
But I feel like there's more money in meter maiding.
More money? Is that what you're going for, Klaus? Because the problem with being a meter maid, and I remember this from my times at UNL, is you are the bad guy. Some people in the bar, if you're a bouncer, you kick out the guy who's causing issues. You're the good guy. You're never the good guy if you're the person writing parking tickets.
Listen, sometimes you get a cup thrown at you by a quarterback who's going to ruin the football game for the PlayStation. But sometimes you rake in that sweet, sweet cash. And if there's one thing that people have always known about me, it's that I'm all about the Benjamins. So,
great movie, by the way.
Klaus, Joba Chamberlain with us here, and the last and only Husker to win in Omaha the College World Series. Do you remember it well?
I remember it very well. It was a warm day up on the hilltop at the old stadium, and I got there a little bit late because we were trying to find Bob. We thought maybe he had ended up starting his own Jello shot competition, but I got there just in time to see Joba. I believe it was a defeat of Arizona State. And it was nice to see Nebraska defeat Arizona State and not have their coach come yell at me afterwards. So fond memories of that day.
And how about, we had some gentlemen that were from the Cleveland area that came and stopped by, gave us a fist bump and said they remember the Midge game fondly. Any memories of the Midge game for Joba?
Well, just last night I took Nance out for a fancy dinner on the patio at an Amigos, and we got attacked by flies. I'm not sure if they were attracted to the sweetness of Nance or the beef of the bean burrito, but either way, I said, this is the closest I'll ever get to being like Joba. So
I don't want anybody to go through that. It's never fun.
More bug spray, please. Klaus?
How you didn't get an endorsement deal off from that deal still amazes me.
Well, because it attracted more bugs than it did. And, Klaus, I'll tell you, that can of off that they sprayed, a kid that mowed all summer bought it for $637. They actually auctioned that off.
Wow.
And I made sure to give him his money back. I met him in spring training.
That's awesome.
I would have taken that and invested it in some sort of citronella cologne for the next time someone comes to pitch in Cleveland. So,
well, it doesn't work, so I wouldn't have invested much.
Klaus, before we get you out, Clausborne is with us. Hulk Hogan beer. Are you buying stock? About 20 seconds.
Well, first of all, probably not, because I think it'll run through me pretty quickly, if you know what I'm saying. But it makes me want to formulate my own beer, which would be an orange wheat called 255. And you wouldn't be able to just buy one. You'd always have to go for two, especially when you're in Miami. So I think if you're going to invest in a brew, that'd be the one to go for.
Claus, thank you much for putting up with the technical hijinks, but good stuff as always from you. You have yourself a weekend, okay?
Okay.
Do you feel like it's almost impossible to lose weight on your own? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and we know the secret to losing weight and keeping it off long-term without drugs or injections. At Lincoln Weight Loss, many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two with our support staff and accountability. And we do that without prepackaged meals, no exercising, no hormones, no injections, drugs, or surgery. Go to LincolnWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Schmidt here. By now, you know I'm a real believer in Lincoln Weight Loss. How could I not be? What is so awesome is the natural energy I have now. It keeps me motivated to stick with the plan. I highly encourage you to check them out. To learn about this great program, go to LincolnWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation. Their staff will walk you through the entire program, talk about your health goals, and see if it's a good fit for you. Call 402-520-8170 or go to LincolnWeightLoss.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
We all like to save money, and we all like to save time. So why not save money and time on your auto insurance? At Battle Creek Insurance, we offer a way to do both. Enroll in our EFT payment option and save 5% on your auto insurance premium. EFT makes bill paying easy, convenient, and there's no worry of late payments. Visit BattleCreekINS.com today to contact your local Battle Creek independent agent. Start saving. Battle Creek Insurance. Better together.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like climbing a mountain, but that mountain is also covered in banana peels. Then when something new gets added to your list, you're like, nope, I'm already climbing this huge, super slippery banana peel mountain of a to-do list. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to manage your policy on our mobile app. So climbing that banana peel mountain feels more like a leisurely stroll. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
What a day, what a day. Good to have you back. It's Hail Varsity powered by Cornhead Lager here at Addy's, downtown Omaha. Night session about 7 minutes away. Oh, Bluegrass State, Kentucky. Going to get after it as they're a first-timer in the CWS. Big thanks to Joba Chamberlain, not only for a live Triple Play Pod before today's show, but for hanging out with us. Bill Dolman was with us. Clausborne, he's imaginary and wears red. We got all that fixed. Todd emails in. Todd, good to hear from you. When we're talking about Nebraska and who has the most to lose, Todd says, look, that's just it, Chris. Who the hell are we supposed to beat anymore? Maybe 2 or 3 teams? Okay, somewhat possible, but then what? Vegas will have Nebraska favored in 8 games this year.
Well, there's a difference to me, the question of who should Nebraska beat based on the past decade and who should Nebraska beat based on the talent that they have brought in over the past couple of years and the fan expectations, the resources that you have at Nebraska, the brand new sparkling facilities that you have. There's a difference in those two sides of the conversation.
What do you do with the talent?
What do you do with
You got to
all
win
the,
with it.
What do you do with all the advantages you have at Nebraska? Nebraska
I
has
don't
the
care if
advantage
you have
on
the
7 or 8
advantage.
teams.
I don't care. If you don't win, it doesn't matter. I don't care what you have. If you don't win, it doesn't matter.
I'll say this, and Nebraska's had the more talented team the last
Numerous
7
times.
or 8 years, and they've screwed it up.
Nebraska had the more talented team, but the likes of Purdue
They didn't have the better coach
and
team.
Illinois, they have been the better team. Nebraska's had the more talented team, but Purdue and Illinois and Wisconsin and Iowa and these schools that realistically you have advantages and have had the better football team. The question is, can you bridge that gap between your talent and your actual ability level?
I think, too, there's twofold, Elijah, right there, where I think it comes into play where, talent plays. But if you don't put the right clientele in what it is and what is on the field, it doesn't translate. Because, they might be the most talented, but
can't roll the old helmet out anymore.
If it doesn't fit your scheme and if it doesn't fit whatever it is, you don't win. And at the same time, I'm excited but frustrated because, like, what are we doing with the right people in the right places? Like, if you feel like it's right, but it's not, I'm feeling some type of way in this because I went through this with my son this year, where you thought you were putting people in the right situation and it wasn't. Play the best people, whether good or bad, in where they should be, because that's why you recruited them.
I don't worry about that from Rule and his staff. I don't worry about getting out-coached. There's games that they get out-talented. They've got to be better in that fourth quarter. They know that. I think they've worked on it. They've got to be better end-of-game situations, defensively and offensively, and plenty will be said and measured by this season. Will, thank you much for sitting in. We'll be back up here on Monday as we'll continue the College World Series 2. Joba Chamberlain, appreciate you. Thanks so much. Elijah Herbel, Chris Schmidt, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play for the podcast. Weekend edition tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. Hi, Garth Glissman.